I'm so sorry about that. We just sold our last one. Stockroom and all.
This is so unfair. I've been all over the city today. How is it that every store is completely sold out?
It was featured on a show last night. They kept talking about how good it is for your looks. That's why I picked some up. Hey, what are you doing?
Give me...
Huh?
Give me that!
Ladies!
Hello everybody, Megazord here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video, and for today I'll be reviewing a certain scientific Railgun T episode 19 called A Strange Coincidence. And if you haven't already done so, you can go ahead and click that card in the corner and check out my episode 18 review for Railgun T if you so happen to miss it, or you need a recap or anything like that, need a little refresher before I dive up into this episode 19 review. And I gotta say, with this one, man oh man oh man oh man, Saten. Even when we know that she's always like a troublemaker, and like she's not trying to get herself into trouble, but she always has a knack for finding trouble for the most part when she's, sticking her nose where she shouldn't really be sticking that nose. And even when she's not actually looking for excitement, danger, or trouble, she still gets caught up in it. So this girl cannot catch a break though. But honestly, her interaction between Saten as well as Frenda, they honestly rubbed off on each other quite well. A lot better than what I actually originally thought between, like our good character Saten as well as our sort of kind of a little bit more shadier character being Frenda, with her, kind of working within the black market and stuff. But honestly, I didn't expect these two duos to actually, play well together, with one being like more so the star and the other one being like a co-star though for this episode though. So honestly, that was kind of a little bit shocking though, but you know what, they got a lot more plot within this episode, more so than any of those first 3 episodes or 4 whenever we kind of transition out of that previous arc into this Dream Ranker arc. So there's a lot to say about this episode though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight up into this episode review of A Certain Scientific Railgun T. I have previously stated, Saten is always known for getting herself in some kind of danger constantly in the series. She has always seemed to have the uncanny ability to ferret out mysteries and get herself in harm's way, usually requiring other characters to come to her rescue. This episode is yet another example of it. However, the one significant difference this time is that she gets into trouble through no fault of her own, though at the end of the episode suggests that this is also a double whammy situation. The threat actually does not come from a villainous co-star either. For the second straight episode, a member of Misaka's group winds up co-starring with a member from Ida. In this case, the blonde bomb specialist Frenda. The circumstances are no less than silly than with King Yuhata last episode. Frenda is practically addicted to mackerel, and Saten just happened to buy the last can of mackerel that supermarket had. Various shenanigans lead to Saten giving in to Frenda's pleading and taking her home for dinner to make mackerel curry for her. Is that even a thing? Which Frenda sees as sufficient reason to friend her. Get it? Frenda? Friend her? Alright, enough with the puns though. That ultimately proves to be a lifesaver for Saten, as Frenda comes to her rescue when Saten gets kidnapped over the seemingly innocent Indian poker card she happened to pick up. In all likelihood, the card from a chopsticks champion is innocent, but for it to come up in school search for items related to tweezers is Saten's plot device, bad luck, yeah. That allows for guest appearances for school, including Yobo, who's the guy with the wires, Gokusai, for a long time known as just a girl in a dress, as the blonde working behind the scenes, and the formal introduction of Yumiya, whose dream appeared last episode. Hamazura also makes an appearance as well, once again, as Frenda's driver in pursuing the kidnapped Saten. All of this can happen because the events of this episode are set between September 27th through the 29th, which means both that they overlap with what was happening in the previous 2 episodes and that they occur before the events of Battle Royale within Index Season 3. That's important because at least 3 of the guest appearances in this episode are dead within 10 days, lending a slightly morbid undertone to the episode for those fully familiar with the events of Index Season 3. In fact, this episode seems to be either directly or indirectly setting up for some of the circumstances in play during Battle Royale. Rocco's attack on Frenda at the end of the episode is a precursor to School's attack on Item in that arc, though Rocco clearly does not know about Frenda's affiliation at this point, since the next episode preview shows that the confrontation between her and Frenda does not end with Frenda getting shot from behind. Presumably, next episode will explain why Rocco had to be placed before Battle Royale. She is as much as a headache as any Esper, but I suspect that we shouldn't expect too much development from her. Directional choices here are also interesting. Rather than using date cards or subtitled dates, various camera shots were selected to highlight the dates on clocks on Academy City's new blimps. I prefer this kind of approach and absolutely think it's necessary given the importance of understanding when these events happen. Also, has Frenda previously been established as Norwegian? Ha de bra is a functional equivalent of goodbye in Norwegian language though, but it's just something I kind of just thought of on the side though. But this episode ends with a great cliffhanger and succeeds overall despite Misaka, Kuroko, and Uriharu all being relegated to brief appearances. And that's basically all I have to say about this week's episode though, but man, I gotta say, between Frenda as well as Saten just kind of rubbing off on each other, I never thought that these two would actually be some decent friends at the end of the day though, and it really does sting for all of us that have seen Index Season 3. As a matter of fact, that Frenda's gonna be dead within like 10 days or so, and honestly, this seemed to be like a very cool friend next to Saten like that. It just really sort of kind of sting a little bit. It is really unfortunate though, but honestly, you know what? Frenda did a phenomenal job in this episode though, and I've always been sort of kind of like a little miniature fan of her. I just kind of like the way how she sort of kind of interacts, whatever though. She can literally flip on the switch, be super friendly, whatever though, but then when the time comes and it's time to get serious, she's ready to throw down as well though. But honestly, a lot of good stuff, man. There's some deeper plot stuff going on with the Indian poker cards as well, and the fact that we're finally getting that new girl, that we finally get to see her make her sort of kind of her official debut with her actually talking and stuff. Got to see a little bit of her character with the school that she was kind of going with. She almost had like two different sides of personality to herself. Like, she was so nice around what would have been like some of her friends though, but then when she gets called in to do work, she literally flipped the switch and was like dead on serious for everything she was trying to do for the people that were giving her the commands and such. And I was like, dang, okay. But man, there's quite a bit of stuff that I'm really looking forward to within next week's episode as well though, so I'm really looking forward to it though. But that's all I got to say about this episode review though. So if you really like this review, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things a certain scientific railgun tea that's happening this season, y'all. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.
My orders are to capture the black-haired one alive, but I'm free to hunt the other one, right? I wonder what I should have you make for me. Curry is, all told, the obvious choice. But as far as other dishes that are good with mackerel, we've got options.